Thanks for coming. Thank you for coming.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 State of the City Address. I am Bert Cook, the Executive Director of the LaPorte Economic Advancement Partnership. I'd like to thank you all for being here with us this evening. A big thank you to Brett Benversi and the Civic Auditorium staff for their hospitality. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to Dunlin Media for live streaming our event on Facebook tonight. We have Mucho Mas and Indiana Deli who've catered the event. Thank you for hosting today. So we have a number of elected officials in the room with us tonight. I'm going to try and recognize everyone. Undoubtedly, I will probably miss someone, and I apologize in advance. But if I could have you all stand up, and then we'll recognize everyone together. From the LaPorte City Council, I've got Tim Franke, Laura Knesny, Roger Galloway, Lauren Huffman, Carol Ficus, Drew Buchanan, and Julie West. From the LaPorte County Council, we've got Randy Novak and Mike Rosenbaum. County Commissioners Connie Grammarosa and Rich Merzinski are here with us. State Representative Jim Pressel, Griffin Nate from Congressman Yakum's office, and Kelly Anthony from Senator Todd Young's office. Thank you all for being with us. So at the conclusion of the mayor's address, we will have some time for questions. So if you have questions, there should be note cards on your table. Please fill those out. You can just hold them in the air. Our staff will be around and to grab the questions from you. And I know the mayor is excited to answer questions, so please feel free. The State of the City address given by Mayor Dermody is an opportunity to recognize all the successes of the city of LaPorte. Those successes would not be possible without the dedicated team of department heads and their staffs. And so please help me recognize those efforts, and I'll ask all the department heads to stand, please. So we'll start with Mark Schreiber, the Park Superintendent. And again, Mark Schreiber again. Mark, I forgot you last year, so 2 recognitions this year. Annette Leffler, the Chief of Staff. Jerry Jackson, the Superintendent of the Wastewater Department. Tim Warner, the Superintendent of the Water Department. Nick Minnick, our City Engineer. Craig Phillips, the City Planner. Jessica Spoljaric, Communications Director. Dick Buell, Police Chief. Andy Snyder, Fire Chief. Roscoe Hoffman, IT Director. Andrea Smith, HR Director. Jeff Batchelor, Director of Code Enforcement. Mike Fraze, the Director of the Street Department. Nick Otis and Matt Hagenow, City Attorneys. And Courtney Parthun, our Clerk Treasurer. Thank you all. So before we move on to the mayor's address, I'd like to take a moment to recognize our 2024 Community Partner of the Year, which is Janet Block in the Lebesnick Center for the Arts. Janet received the award a few weeks ago, but I'd just like to once again stress how much we appreciate her and her work integrating arts into downtown LaPorte. I don't know if I saw Janet, but if you're here, Janet, will you please stand up and be recognized? Thank you. Now I'd like to ask City Attorney Nick Otis to come forward to share a few thoughts and to introduce Mayor Dermody for his State of the City address.
Can this be raised up, Bert? Good evening. My name is Nick Otis. I'm the city attorney here in LaPorte, and I grew up in LaPorte, and I realized other than being away for school, I've lived within about a mile radius in downtown LaPorte my entire life. I've been coming to the Civic Auditorium for as long as I can remember, and it's a special place with a lot of history. I want to tell you about one particular event as I found in the archives of the LaPorte County Library of the February 18th, 1939 LaPorte Daily Herald Argus. The Slicers last night rocked the Indiana high school basketball empire when they upset the favored South Bend Central Bears 40-38 before 1,500 amazed fans at the Civic Auditorium. The customers were so dumbfounded at the result that they remained unmoved in their seats long after the final gun had sounded, trying to make themselves believe that the whole thing was not a dream. 10-gallon tears were shed by Central of South Bend. The defeat of Johnny Wooden's South Bend team ranked as one of the biggest upsets in Indiana Friday night. That's right, the John Wooden, 10-time national champion at UCLA, the creator of the Pyramid of Success, lost to the LaPorte Slicers right here at the Civic Auditorium. The article went on to say, Irv Swanson, who became a very prominent businessman here in LaPorte, was the Slicer guard, and following the victory over South Bend Central did something with the basketball that many players nearly twice his size had failed to do in many attempts. Hit the Civic Auditorium ceiling with the basketball. Swanson try of course was not intended. He gave the ball a flip with his right arm and it hit the ceiling and bounced around the steel girders. His feat added more astonishment to an already bewildered audience. I love the adjectives and description from the writer from the Herald Argus in 1939. One of the mayor likes to give out T-shirts, different T-shirts for the city of LaPorte to create, pride in our community. And one of the shirts that he gives out, it says "relentless" on it in big bold letters. And it's a good adjective to describe working for the mayor, though some of the department heads may occasionally use a different term, such as exhausting. But mayor is truly relentless when it comes to improving our city. I started working with the city in 2017, and around that time, Mark Schreiber and Brett Van Verste and I started discussing how could we get like a single game that hosts Lalamere playing another high school team, and how could we convince ESPN to maybe cover that game? Mayor came into office and he kind of forced us to think slightly bigger, and now the Civic hosts one of the best high school basketball events in the United States. And next month we'll host our 4th installment of the LaPorte Invitational, which features the top high school basketball programs in the country. There are 12 current NBA players that have played in the LaPorte Invitational over the last 3 years. And one of the things, just a small thing that, again, that makes our city great, before this event, we had the floor repainted so that the City of LaPorte logo is right in the middle of the floor. And so the millions of people that tune in on ESPN, if they're watching that game, they see the City of LaPorte logo. And many of us have received texts from people all over the country excited to watch high school basketball at the Civic Auditorium. So I want to mention one more story before I introduce the mayor. I mentioned the exhausting part working for him, right? So a few years ago on a Saturday night, my phone rang at 10:07 p.m., and it was the mayor. I wasn't exactly thrilled about taking this call, but even for the mayor, that was kind of an odd hour, and so I thought, must be something important, so I took the call. He had called me because earlier in the afternoon, he got a call from a young person in the community who needed help immediately. The person was having a mental health crisis and didn't know where to turn. And this is not a family member of Mayor Dermody's. This is not a close personal friend of Mayor Dermody's. This is just a young person in the community who knew Mayor Dermody and thought of all people in the community, I'm going to call the mayor and see if he can help me. So the mayor drove this person to a facility outside of LaPorte County. The mayor was calling me at 10:07 p.m. because that person was supposed to report to work that night. And the mayor wanted to know what could he say so that this young person wouldn't be fired from their job. I kind of felt like a jerk after that because the mayor was trying to help a young person that desperately needed help at that time. And it's just a reminder that Mayor Dermody is relentless in helping everyone in our community. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Mayor Tom Dermody.
And I'm not tech savvy here, so it's going to take me just 1 minute. Bert, you need to shut this off. Thank you, Nick. And thank you all for being here this evening. I'm honored to share with you my 5th State of the City address. And if we would have been ill again, I could have probably stretched this past Christmas and maybe just done this before New Year's. Before I begin, I'd like to have a few thank yous. Department heads, elected officials, for your leadership and for challenging the status quo every day. Our Chief of Staff, the glue, Annette Leffler, and I know she's here. And the First Lady, my wife, Jackie D. We went into this year once again with our 3 guiding principles: setting high standards, competing with and for the best, and expecting to win. And this year was certainly full of wins for our residents and businesses. Beginning with infrastructure, the completion of road construction at Truesdale has allowed Fox Park to continue to grow into a summer destination for health and happiness. This was by far one of the biggest infrastructure projects this year, and rightfully so. Another focus was I Street and the completion of the letters and number street. But not only are we addressing our roads and sidewalks, but we're doing what we said we'd do by replacing ancient water and wastewater infrastructure that in some areas is 100 years old and will cost $100 million to improve. We're strategically implementing infrastructure improvements in a way that is fiscally responsible and coordinated by our in-house team of experts. Indiana Avenue will be the next major road to be paved after improvements are made to our water and wastewater infrastructure. As this picture reflects, this is what government should be. City, county, state, federal officials putting R's and D's aside and working to get things done. It takes a village to provide top infrastructure improvements for our residents. We were proud to be the recipient of a $1 million grant in federal support to assist in this project. Thank you to Congressman Mervan and his team for making this happen. Similarly, we received a $2.5 million federal grant for the Boyd Stormwater Infrastructure Project. When residents pay federal taxes, we want to see those dollars come right back here to improve LaPorte. Not in Washington, not in New York, not in Los Angeles, but right here in LaPorte, Indiana. We have the responsibility to our taxpayers to fight for these grants, and we are competing for every last penny. These funds will allow for the expansion of current companies as well as new businesses to develop here on the east side of LaPorte. And as all of you know, we are pothole-free LaPorte. 5,600 potholes were repaired in 2023. Thanks to the residents who take pride in our community and report potholes, we've repaired over 9,600 this year, with the majority of being filled within our goal of 48 hours. Creating a walkable downtown remains a top priority for our team. Obviously, you see what we deal with on a weekly basis, sometimes even a daily basis. Examples include speeders crushing our downtown planners, an aging downtown infrastructure, and gridlock due to truck breakdowns in the middle of the road. But we've been working to address this one step at a time, like partnering with the Indiana Department of Transportation to implement tactical urbanism, These plans for Lincoln Walk, which will visually narrow width of our city's busiest streets and slow traffic down, are just the beginning to making our downtown a safer, more walkable community. And speaking of safety, we want our fire and police to be prepared as they can. This includes a new training facility for our fire department. Our priority is better training for a safer tomorrow when seconds matter. Thank you to the Health Foundation of LaPorte, HFL, and CEO Eric DeWald for their incredible support on this project. Eric, give a wave, I see you there. Members of our fire team have also been busy with Project Swaddle. This program provides expectant mothers in our community with the resources they need for the best possible outcome and has helped 17 mothers with 9 babies born so far since its launch in April. And thank you to Franciscan Health for their partnership. We're working every day to break the stigma on mental health and addiction. When an individual in our community needs help, they have currently 2 options: the hospital with very limited resources, or jail. Our police social worker, Caitlin Kalisic, works tirelessly to help connect those in need throughout our community with assistance through the Pathways to Healing program. And as you heard, our team is relentless for a reason. After many years, the train depot is back where it belongs, in the hands of the people of LaPorte. It is our goal to have this building become another option for mental health and addiction resources, and we hope to see more progress on this in 2025. As well, you know, LaPorte is a law and order community. Drug trafficking of the most lethal drugs, such as meth and fentanyl, will not be tolerated. We will continue to support those in need of addiction resources, but know this: drug dealers will find no mercy in the city of LaPorte. People will doubt our ability to win this war, but why would we not set our standards high when it comes to protecting our youth and our community? Our police department made 79 drug-related arrests this year, and plenty more to come. A spotless LaPorte takes daily commitment from everyone. Thanks to the efforts by our residents to keep our neighborhoods clean, our code enforcement team issued over 3,400 violations. That includes properties like 905 Linwood that you can see was clearly an eyesore. The dumpster program continues to be a great asset in our mission to keep the community clean, removing more than 250 full dumpster loads of trash from LaPorte this year. Thank you to the Urban Enterprise Association for their continued support of this program. And when more than 80 trains a day pass through our community blowing their horns, the noise can be a hindrance to the quality of life. While many said we would not get there, our team believed. Since February, train horns have been silenced in the city of LaPorte, and we are now officially a quiet zone community. We've heard from Northwest Health that this has greatly improved the quality of stay for many of their patients, and we know many of our residents feel the same. Transport continues to provide critical services for our seniors and others in need of affordable transportation to places like the doctor's office, the pharmacy, and the grocery store. We have a new team with fresh eyes, and our focus is to improve services to be what our residents deserve, while also working to save taxpayer money. So far this year, they have given 28,000 rides. And we also have an aging urban canopy. Thanks to the great work of Tucker King of our engineering department, we've received a $1 million federal grant from the U.S. Forest Service. This has helped us remove 30 problem trees so far, and we've planted 86 of 480 new trees covering a variety of species. You may have noticed that our downtown received a little facelift this summer. This is only the beginning of embracing the arts as a part of our downtown culture. And thanks to our partnership with Ms. Janet Block of the Lebesnick Center, we plan to see even more opportunities for artistic displays in the near future. We also continue to prioritize our investment in the quality of life. The new Clear Lake Loop and the renovations to Fox Park will allow residents of all ages and abilities to strive for a healthier tomorrow. Thank you again to our incredible partner, HFL, for their support. For growth to continue, it takes buy-in and private investment from our residents who see our vision and believe in the future of LaPorte. The future Bowers Family Lodge will provide another venue option for people who want to celebrate life's milestones in our community. And we are grateful to the Bowers family for this incredible gift. Thanks to the CVB and Jack Arnett, my friend, I saw him right there. Our community continues to become a destination for high-quality entertainment. Events like the LaPorte Invitational, Lake Fest, the Civic Concert Series, and Friday Night Lives bring together thousands of residents and visitors alike to celebrate what makes LaPorte special. We're making our community more and more attractive to new industry, like Microsoft, who announced in June that LaPorte will be the site of a $1 billion data center. When people asked if we ever thought Microsoft would come to LaPorte, our answer was, okay, one more time. Our answer was yes, because we always come back to our three guiding principles: set high standards, compete with and for the best, and expect to win. Other new growth includes local small businesses like Emmy's Bakery and Tony's Table, as well as Chipotle, a family fun center, and thanks to the Cablein family, Westgate Place for Wingstop and Jet Pizza. Housing, housing, housing is still a focus. Our residents demand options. Our children, who we have educated and are looking to come home, deserve options. We must have housing of all type for them to accommodate as well to the industrial growth that we are seeing and to reach our goal of 30 by 30. Some of the examples: Hunter Woods, with 10 single-family homes, 97 townhomes, and 56 apartments. Lake Point Development, 42 affordable housing units to be built on Scott Field and the Washington Street School. Bella Largo, a 63-bed senior living facility. Beechwood Lakes, 110 units of both single-family and townhomes that would not have happened without the generous donation from the Heiler Luck family. Habitat for Humanity with 9 affordable housing options. and Bailey Park, 24 homes built by Steiner Homes on 18th Street, as well as my favorite, Ivy Flats, a 19-unit wraparound service facility for those in need that will replace the current Coke building. And what I consider is most important, our own hometown builder that has never given up faith in where LaPorte can be and continues to shine, and that's Mitch Ficus and Ficus Builders. Oh, Mitch, do you have any extra IU Notre Dame football tickets I might need? 39 North Annexation crossed the finish line this year. Our team, police, fire, streets, were out there on day one to fulfill the promises we made. This has led to new opportunities for growth, like Bella Largo, senior living, as well as IST, distribution, and Lindy that will create just under 50 new high-wage jobs. We're doing what's right for our new and current residents, both now and in the future. We can't continue to grow without first finishing what we've begun. As you can see, these projects amount to over $1.5 billion of investment in LaPorte. We still have a lot of work to do. And this also has been a year in the spotlight with great exposure, including special TV appearances like our ESPNU and ESPN Plus spots with the LaPorte Invitational, as well as PBS features like Meet the Mayor and Economic Outlook. Members of our team were invited to speak as experts at major state conferences hosted by the Association of Indiana Municipalities, the Northwest Indiana Business Roundtable, and of course, Purdue University. Print was no different. Readers from all across the state had access to our Travel Indiana magazine 4-page feature. Similarly, Northwest Indiana Business Magazine showcased the growth in our community with their 5-page spread on LaPorte. The number one public service is for us to live within our means and be responsible with your tax dollars. 2025 will be another year with a balanced budget, despite the fact that we expect to continue returning nearly 30% of potential property tax revenue to taxpayers in the form of property tax credits. Our clerk treasurer for life, Courtney Parthune, along with our department heads, continue to create efficiencies and find alternative funding to strengthen the future of LaPorte. Our team is finding innovative ways to improve service while reducing cost. Like Human Resource Director Andrea Smith, who explored health insurance alternatives and found a great option that provides improved, high-quality coverage for our employees at lower cost. And another great example is IT Director Roscoe Hoffman, who is saving the city money by providing more services to our employees in-house versus contracted. Recently, during the city's S&P bond rating call, the S&P once again affirmed the city's A+ rating and noted our overall low debt liability, especially noting that 67% of our debt is going to be paid off in the next 10 years. The city has not increased property tax debt. Rather, we continue to use the tools given to local governments to finance the necessity and the necessary utility improvements for our aging infrastructure. As you can see, the city's overall debt profile is focused on leveraging various revenue sources to address this versus saddling our taxpayers with this debt. We could have slapped a Band-Aid on the water and wastewater infrastructure problem. By the way, so you know, those are Band-Aids. But to kick the can down the road another 10, 20, 30 years would be a disservice for our residents. Our team is not one that sits back. We take action because LaPorte demands it. I do want to take a moment and thank our team. Every last one of our employees comes to work every day with one goal in mind: to improve the lives of our residents. This team could be successful anywhere, but they've chosen to be right here in LaPorte, and for that, I am extremely grateful. I as well want to thank all of you for allowing me the opportunity to serve this community that I love. We have tremendous partners in each of you, and I hope you believe in what LaPorte is and what LaPorte can be. Together, we are LaPorte proud. Thank you very much for this evening. Bye, Representative Pressel. That is what we call an Irish goodbye in the legislature.
So Mayor, if you're okay with it, I think we have a little time for a few questions.
Absolutely.
So a couple different questions submitted all around the same topic, so I'll start there. How does LaPorte, or how do we attract more young people back to our community? How do we attract engineers, professional people? A lot of questions around that, so I'll let you start on that topic.
Eric Nelson, where are you? He's our guy for the future, but I'll tell you what, we know now that people, when they look to move, they're moving to a place for a quality of life, and then they'll find a job. We see that we have a need throughout our community, our county, for engineers everywhere. And we have, or I should say I have, committed everybody that we will be the engineering capital of Indiana. We will start a program in-house and working with our manufacturers to make sure there's abundance availability of engineers in our community. It takes housing, but it's going to take quality of life, and we're on the right track, but now we got to compete with other communities to bring those individuals home.
Thank you, Mayor. So will you talk a little bit about the partnership? It's been important during your terms here that the city and county work together in partnership. Will you speak to how that cooperation benefits our community?
Well, it's one. When the county does well, we do well. And when the city does well, the county does well. We have to continue or really develop that relationship together, that when we have an opportunity for housing, that this isn't us versus them, but that the county, as they came forward with the commissioners, with council, to say, hey, we're going to put $500,000 housing development because that's good for all. And I think we saw that this past year in the last 6 months, more of that with all of us. We don't care about the credit. We want to get it done. And I think we have an opportunity to continue that relationship, to make it special. We've got a lot of catching up to do.
And one final question, Mayor. Do you want to give an update on rerouting truck traffic in our downtown area?
Absolutely. And I think Lincoln Walk, thanks to Nick Minnick, our engineer, who has just done a fabulous job with this, I think it's going to have just the first part of this with the tactical urbanism. We're going to allow trucks to rethink where they go, how they get to where they need to be. Because again, we do not want to deter trucks in our community It's the economy, it's good, it's good for all of us. We just want them to find alternative routes. And I think we can continue to do that. Nick Minnick will work with our county, but we have to be bold. We have to be willing to make decisions that we're not worried about getting reelected. We're worried about doing the right thing. And we've seen for years that maybe progress hasn't happened, but I look forward to hopefully in 2025, if people talk, they have a chance to do what's right versus do what's good to get reelected.
Well, please help me thank the mayor for his leadership and our State of the City address.
No,
So once again, I'd like to thank you all for spending the evening with us. The LaPorte Economic Advancement Partnership thanks you for your time, your support over the course of the last year. We're very excited about what 2025 might bring. So thanks again and enjoy the rest of your evening.